You've seen the pictures. Glass towers punching through deserts and indoor ski slopes in a city where it's 115 degrees outside. A police force that drives Lamborghinis. Dubai looks like what happens when a country wins the lottery and decides to build a monument to excess. And here's what most people think oil money built. All of it. The black gold under the sand turned fishermen into billionaires overnight, except that's not what happened. Dubai's oil? It's practically gone. The city produces less crude than North Dakota. The whole Emirates sits on maybe 4 billion barrels of reserves. Sounds like a lot until you realize Saudi Arabia has 260 billion. Kuwait has 100 billion. Even Texas has more. Dubai's oil peaked in 1991. By the time the Burj Khalifa started rising from the ground, oil made up less than 5% of the economy. Today it's closer to 1%. So how does a city with almost no natural resources, no farmland, barely any fresh water, and summer temperatures that can cook an egg on the pavement become one of the wealthiest places on earth? The answer is weirder and more deliberate than you think. Let's go back to 1958. Dubai is a trading port, small, dusty. A few thousand people living in coral stone houses along a creek. The big money is in pearls, but Japan just figured out how to farm them artificially, so that industry is dying. There's some smuggling, some gold trafficking. That's about it. Then they find oil. Not much, but enough. And this is where the story splits from every other petrostate. Most countries that discover oil do the same thing. They pump it, sell it, use the cash to fund government salaries, subsidies, and political loyalty. They build dependencies. When the oil runs out or prices collapse, the economy implodes. Venezuela, Algeria, Nigeria. The list is long and depressing. Dubai's ruler at the time, Sheikh Rashid, looked at that model and said no. He did something that seemed insane in the 1960s. He took oil revenue and spent it building infrastructure for an economy that didn't exist yet. Ports, roads, an airport. He dredged the creek. He built schools and hospitals. He didn't just improve Dubai, he turned it into a platform. Here's the key move. He made Dubai a free zone. No income tax, no corporate tax, no restrictions on foreign ownership. You want to set up a business in the Middle East. You can own 100% of it in Dubai, everywhere else in the region. You need a local partner who owns 51%. That partner, conveniently, is often connected to the ruling family. Not in Dubai. Keep your equity. Keep your profits. Just come do business. And they came. By the 1980s, global companies started using Dubai as a hub. If you wanted to move goods between Europe, Asia, and Africa, Dubai was suddenly the easiest place to do it. Low taxes, modern ports, no red tape. The city became a middleman for everyone. Then came the next gamble, real estate, in the 1990s. Foreigners couldn't own property in most of the Gulf. You could lease it maybe, but you'd never really own it. Dubai changed the law. Build luxury towers, sell them to anyone with money, and let them actually own the deed. The result? A construction boom that looked like a fever dream, palm-shaped islands, the world's tallest building, hotels with gold-plated interiors, an underwater restaurant, a mall with an indoor rainforest. Critics called it a bubble. They said it was all speculative froth, that no real economy was underneath it. And in 2008, they were almost right. The global financial crisis hit Dubai like a freight train. Property prices collapsed. Half-built towers sat empty. The Emirate owed over $80 billion, and it couldn't pay. Abu Dhabi, the oil-rich neighbor, had to bail them out with $20 billion just to keep the lights on. It should have been the end. But here's the thing about Dubai. It didn't just survive, it came back faster than almost anyone expected. And it did it by doubling down on the same strategy. Be the place where capital wants to go. When Europe tightened tax laws, Russian oligarchs bought penthouses in Dubai. When China cracked down on capital flight, Chinese investors moved money into Dubai real estate. When India's wealthy wanted to park cash offshore, Dubai offered golden visas, political instability in the Middle East. Dubai stayed neutral, kept the airports open, and welcomed everyone's money. It's not about resources, it's about being a refuge. A place with no questions asked, low taxes, and just enough rule of law to make contracts enforceable but not enough to make life uncomfortable for the very rich. Tourism became another pillar. Dubai now gets over 15 million visitors a year. It's marketed as Vegas without the gambling, a luxury playground where you can shop, eat, and take selfies in front of absurd architecture. The city spends billions on events, Formula One races, golf tournaments, New Year's Eve fireworks that cost more than some countries' education budgets. And it works. Tourism generates over $30 billion a year. Then there's logistics. Jebel Ali Port is one of the busiest in the world. Emirates Airlines became a global giant by turning Dubai into a stopover hub connecting every continent. The airport handles more international passengers than any other on the planet. None of this requires oil. It requires location, infrastructure, and a willingness to do whatever it takes to stay relevant. But there's a darker edge. To the model, Dubai's population is over 3 million people. Only about 10% are Emirati citizens. The rest? Migrant workers. They build the towers, they clean the hotels, they drive the taxis, and many of them live in conditions that don't match the glossy brochures. Cramped labor camps on the city's outskirts, passport confiscation, wage theft, debt bondage to recruitment agencies. Human Rights Watch has documented it for years. The Emirates. Wealth is real, but it's not equally distributed. Not even close. There's also the question of sustainability, not environmental, though that's a problem too when you're air conditioning an entire desert. The sustainability question is economic. What happens when the world doesn't need middlemen anymore? When sanctions tighten and dirty money finds fewer safe harbors? When regional stability improves and Dubai's neutrality becomes less valuable? The city is betting it can keep reinventing itself. Crypto hub, AI research center, space industry anchor. The strategy is always the same. Find the next wave of global capital and build infrastructure to catch it before anyone else does. It's worked for 50 years. But it's a tightrope, because here's the uncomfortable truth. Dubai isn't rich because it produces anything the world needs. It's rich because it made itself indispensable to people moving money, goods, and themselves across borders. It's a tax haven with skyscrapers, a logistics node with a marketing budget, a city built on the idea that if you make it easy enough for capital to flow through you, some of it will stick. And as long as the world has wealth that wants to hide, trade that wants efficiency, and people who want luxury without questions, Dubai will keep printing money. The question isn't whether Dubai got rich without oil. It is whether that kind of wealth can last when it is built on everyone else's need to escape something.